Yes, brothers and sisters, lovers, haters, boys, girls and vibrations, hope everyone's well as usual. I've had me a productive morning. I've just had my phone in my hand for the last hour or so. I must admit, I'm going to give my opinion on a few things. You know, I'm not going to address anybody personally. I'm not going to insult or use any slanderous comments or anything of that nature. But sometimes I just feel compelled to give my opinion. And if nobody is okay with that, and let's just say perhaps people don't like that, unlucky, that's unfortunate, because I'm going to give it anyway. Now, first of all, I want to talk about YouTube. People on YouTube, right? Pathetic. It's 95% pathetic, right? The content is a joke. Nobody's creative, nobody's original, nobody's authentic. Like, when you're knocking on the door of 40 years old, in these times, you're old enough to be a granddad, right? Now, if you're that kind of age and you can't even stick by your word, then you just may as well join the masked patrol, because what you say has absolutely no substance, because people can't take you seriously. If you're going to say something, right, keep your dignity, keep your balls, and stand by what you've said. Don't all of a sudden say, oh, well, you know, I'm taking that away, or I didn't mean that anymore because that was last year. Listen, if you've said something about somebody, you should be standing by it. That's my world, that's my opinion. I've never said anything about anybody that I've never stood by. Now, I understand sometimes what you see on YouTube is a reflection, really, of what's going on in people's lives. You see, I went after somebody a couple of years ago, and even though I stand by everything I've said, every word, you know, the way I was going about it and the nature of some of the videos that I was uploading, that was a reflection of my life at that time. Chaos is what it was. And that was, you know, evident in some of the videos that I was making. However, last year was only 2 weeks ago. We're talking about 2 weeks ago. If you've said something a couple of weeks ago, all of a sudden now you're like, you know, oh, I didn't mean that anymore, then you're nothing but a wet wipe, all right? Like, you know what I think sometimes when I look at some of these videos? I think, what do your kids actually think of you? You know, what is there nobody in your life that looks up to you? Have you not got any descendants that, you know, might need some guidance and might perhaps need a role model, or might perhaps need somebody who conducts himself in a decent fashion? Because I think they must be embarrassed. They must be embarrassed to look and say, that's my dad. That there's my dad. Listen, anybody can say anything. Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. Anybody can say anything. There's no substance in that. There's no reality in that. People don't pay the consequences these days. People don't stick to the word. You see, this is the main problem with social media. Once upon a time, not so long ago, if you were out of line, or you said something in a pub, club, house party, anywhere for that matter, you got out of line with your mouth, you got your chin checked because you crossed the line. Not now. Not now. Oh, no. Now we've got hordes, armies, legions and subcultures of people all coming on social media saying what they want about who they want, because there's no consequences. The world is changing. The world is changing indeed. What a place. It's like bittersweet. I don't know whether to be cushy and happy because I'm all right, or to be kind of bothered because the whole world's just turning to shit. And there's no men left. Real men are few and far between. You know, men who stand by the word. Men who say they're going to do something and they do it. Few and far between. But I suppose I'm fortunate to know quite a lot of those people. But there's only one or two of them on YouTube. And the rest of it's just filled to the gunnels with wannabes, fraudsters and muppets. Anyway, rant over. Said enough.